18 crore Kohli number 1. That's set in stone. What about the captain, Faf du Plessis? Is he a retention?
In my view, RCB are a great example of a team that shouldn't be retaining any more than 3 players because of that 4th player and the hit that has on your salary cap. So in my view, RCB should retain 3 players: Kohli, Siraj and Patidar. The 3 Indian players would be the ones I'd lock in, and I'd leave myself open for right to match, whether it be local players or overseas players. Probably the 2 that really stand out for me would be Green and Jacks.
Okay, that's interesting. So Kohli, Siraj and Patidar are Tom's 3 retentions, not the captain Faf du Plessis. So I had Cameron Green as a retention because he can do Faf's job. He's paid big money. He's probably the premium overseas all-rounder. So that was my 4. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Kohli. You guys go ahead.
I had the same as Tom, the exact same. Just the 3 Indians, Kohli, Siraj and Patidar, and then leave your RTMs for the rest, because I think somebody like Maxwell, if you leave him in the auction, other teams may not actually bid that much for him. So you'll always have the chance to get him with an RTM. Even players like Jacks and Green, I don't think that either one of them are worth 18 crores. So you can use the RTM.
The question I'd put to Tom then, I think Kohli, Siraj, there's no doubt you won that. But Patidar at 11, if he goes into the auction, is he likely to fetch more than 11?
I think it's every chance. I think we've seen, what he's potentially capable of doing. And I think to secure a relatively young player, Indian player that's on the rise, I think 11 crore over the 3-year cycle is a very good investment.
Okay, fair enough. Yash, anything more on that?
Yeah, I mean, the only name I'd add is as an uncapped consideration, the namesake. Yash Dayal, if he continues to remain uncapped by the time 31st October comes along, then that I think is a prudent use of 4 crore rupees.
There's a point to be made here that the final call will remain with the player. So it will also be interesting that if a player feels like he can have a really good payday, which Yash Dayal I'm almost certain will have. He's already on more than 4 crore in the last cycle. So you can have the option of vetoing the retention and going into the auction. Right, Nagaraj?
Yeah.
Final call with the player. Right.
Yes.
That out. Okay. So Kohli, Siraj, Patidar look like our top 3 candidates, and the rest to be RTM'd, whether that's Cameron Green or Faf du Plessis. Tom, we did a run order recently on whether they should just name Kohli captain. Any thoughts on it very quickly before we move on?
Well, put it this way, I think he's a good fallback option, but I think they should look in the auction for a captain, because I think Faf showed the value of his captaincy, and also just allowing Virat Kohli to be the batter that we know he's capable of being. I think just allows him to unshackle and just be himself with the bat in hand.
Right. One more on Faf. Would you use your RTM for Faf du Plessis? If you go with these 3, you can only use another 2 capped players, which would be Cameron Green, Will Jacks, like you mentioned. So are you happy to just buy back Faf outside of the RTM?
Yeah, I'd definitely look at it. Again, that would be pretty much price dependent. I would, if I was RCB, I'd be looking in the market at captains and the options that they bring to the franchise. You obviously need a relatively dynamic player to fit in at that top order. If the captain is a batter, they might go for a bowling captain. Who knows? They might bid for Pat Cummins, who's been released by Sunrisers. You don't know what the situation's going to be. But I think. But I think you just have a list of 4 or 5 elite captains that you feel that will not only plug the captaincy role but also fit the balance of your side.